Hey foodies, thanks for watching. Today I'm going to show you how to make gingerbread cookies, also known as gingerbread men, gingerbread houses, just anything gingerbread, and it's really good. Now, the recipe I got came from the restaurant that I used to own, Frankie's, and it was a gigantic recipe. So I've pared it down to a much more manageable size, and we're just going to get started. So like all cookie recipes, you want to start with softened butter and sugar, and you want to beat that together. So I'm going to scrape down the sides, and I'm going to add my molasses. Oh, this looks good. I love the smell of molasses. There we go. And I'm going to add my water, and I'm going to mix this up. Okay, so I'm going to scrape down the sides one more time. And now I'm going to add all of my dry ingredients. And that's my flour. And today I'm using Frankie's gluten-free all-purpose flour because it's a great cup-for-cup alternative when you need to have a gluten-free flour. I'm using cinnamon, allspice, salt, and baking soda. And you might have noticed there's no egg in this. This recipe could be all vegan. You can substitute the butter for like vegetable shortening if you want. So it's very versatile. It's a very easy recipe to follow. Okay, so I've mixed it just until it's combined, and you can see it's cookie dough. I mean, it's pretty awesome. So I'm just gonna scrape off the paddle, give it one last mix, just to make sure we've got everything from the bottom of the mixing bowl. And by all means, you can do this by hand. You can use a stand mixer like I've got. You can use a hand mixer. Again, it's a really easy recipe. Okay, so I'm gonna get my scraper. And we're going to put this out onto the counter. Look at that. That's beautiful looking. I'll put that right there. So I've got some flour here because I'm going to dust my surface with flour. There we go. This is beautiful dough. Look at that. It's just gorgeous. A little sticky spot there. There we go. A little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to just roll this out. And you want to make sure you're constantly flouring the underside. And it's all right if you've torn it in a few little spots because the rolling pin is just going to fix it anyway. There we go. And then I've got some parchment paper lined in my cookie sheet. And I've got different cutouts. I've got a teddy bear, I've got a unicorn, and I've got a bow tie because I thought, why not? And just cut them out. So I'll do a few bow ties. And then I'll do a few teddy bears. And a few unicorns. Because who doesn't like a fun unicorn? There we go. And then we take our lifter. And we're just going to place that right on there. So I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of these cut out on my cookie sheet. And you can see what I've done. These look so good. I'm so excited about having gingerbread cookies. It is the time of year for them. I've gone ahead and I've dusted off the excess flour just so that they're not super starchy and flour-like when they come out of the oven. These are going to go into a preheated oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 12 minutes, but I'm going to check them at the 8-minute mark because I don't want them to be too crispy. See you in a few minutes. These look so good. This place smells amazing right now. It's just, oh my goodness. And they turned out really, really well. I mean, you can see they're a little crunchy on the outside, but they're soft because I can just barely put in an indent. And these took just under 10 minutes. It was like 9 minutes and 45 seconds in my oven. And that's why I'm like, check them, because depending on how thick you make the cookies and how thin you make the cookies, it really is between 8 and 12 minutes, because the thicker the cookie, the longer it's going to take to cook, and the thinner, the less, obviously. So I'm going to let these cool, and while they're cooling, I'm going to make up a royal icing. So most royal icing has an egg white in it, and that's to allow the icing to harden really, really hard and stiff. And it's to let you just have a long shelf life for it. But I thought because this recipe is so versatile, you could make them completely vegan by substituting the butter for vegetable shortening. I thought, why not make a vegan royal icing as well? And it's really quite simple. So I've got my bowl here, and I've got my icing sugar. And I've got my vanilla. And you notice there's not a lot of liquid to go in with all this icing sugar, and that's an important thing. And then I've got agave syrup, or corn syrup can be used if you don't have agave. And I'm just going to get all this out. There we go. And then the recipe says 2 tablespoons of water or dairy alternative like milk. But I think you could put in any kind of liquid. You could put in brandy and make it brandy royal icing. You could put in port. You could put in pretty much any kind of liquid you want. I'm just putting in a dairy-free milk just to follow the recipe really closely. And then we're just going to mix this up, trying not to spill too much of the icing. And you can see it's coming together already. It's getting stiff. I'm going to use my spatula to do the last little bit. There we go. Look at that. That's beautiful looking icing. So, okay, so that's in the piping bag. And I'm just going to get that down to the end, twist the top so it doesn't ooze out, and I'm going to grab a couple cookies. Do one of each. We'll see what they look like. Get rid of that icing. There we go. And then I've also got a few sprinkles here. So I'm just going to put some right onto a plate. I find it's really easy to work with when they're on a plate. Okay, so let's start with the bow tie. Put a couple dots. Oh, look at that. Look at that. And we'll do a little crosshatch in the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to just dip that a little bit more. Oh, doesn't that look pretty? Okay, so now we've got the teddy bear. So we've got to add the booties. You don't have to decorate them. You can decorate them up if you'd like. I want to give them a bite. I would recommend letting the icing set up for at least 24 hours before you actually serve them. That way the icing will actually have a chance to really harden. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this a try. such a lovely flavor. It's really, oh, that cinnamon and the allspice. It's really, really nice. I think you're gonna love these cookies. And I would love to see pictures of maybe your creations. So let me know in the comments below what kind of shape is your favorite. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.